In today's video, we're going to check out the brand new V50 from Vivo. Now, this device is providing us a very nice combination. We're looking at an aesthetically pleasing device, 3 different color options available. We have a large display, we have a powerful processor here, we have the 7 Gen 3 from Qualcomm. We also have a triple 50 megapixel camera stack co-engineered with Zeiss that give us the ability of having 2 50 megapixel cameras on the back and a main 50 megapixel camera on the front. A lot of good things going on here, of course, launching with the latest software, and there is no Pro version this time, and I feel like they actually upgraded the V50 to be more of a Pro without keeping the Pro moniker. This is TK and this is the Vivo V50. Let's check it out and see all of the cool things that this device has to offer. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. So here is the packaging, pretty much V50 co-engineered with Zeiss. Again, Vivo continuing the relationship with Zeiss and obviously bringing it again to the V series as we've seen before. But what you get pretty much in the box is the device. The one that I have here is the purple one. It also includes a free case. It's a plastic case, see-through, allows us to actually enjoy the actual unit. A USB-A to USB-C cable, of course, to provide us the ability of charging and of course data transfer, and a 90-watt charger. It's included in the box. Now, this device does not feature wireless charging, but we do have a 6,000 milliampere battery. Again, as I mentioned to you guys in the beginning, we have a dual 50 megapixel camera stack on the back here. We also have the Aura light. That this is something that they've continued over from before with the ability of not only controlling the color temperature of the light, but also the intensity of the light. On the right side, we have basically the volume rocker and the power button. On the top, we have an opening for the speakers as well as the microphone. On the left side, pretty much a clean slate. On the bottom, we have access to the SIM tray as well as the bottom firing speaker, the microphone, and of course the USB-Cs for data transfer, audio, of course, as well as charging. The display that we have in here is a 6.77-inch AMOLED display that also has a feature of quad curves on all 4 sides of the display. Meaning, as you notice here, the rounded edges on the side as well as the back means that the actual display not only gives us the ability to feel or the look and feel of a flat display, but we have an ever so nicely transfer edge from the outside in. So almost a flat display experience. You can pretty much see it right there. It's an ever so nice gentle curve, again positioned on all 4 sides of the actual display. Capabilities going all the way up to 120 Hertz. It's a 1080p panel, and of course up to 4500 nits as far as the peak brightness capabilities in here. The only other thing I'll probably say is as far as the system, the version that I have has 12 gigs of RAM with 512 gigs of internal storage. There's going to be different configurations all the way from 8 to 12 gigs of RAM and 128 to 512 gigs of internal storage, so depending on the unit that you get. The 7 Gen 3 will power this device and it is clocked in at 2.63 gigahertz. Again, this is the V50. Mine has the 12 gigs of RAM with the additional 12 from storage, running Android 15 out of the box. I did receive 1 update since I've received this unit, so if you were picking it up right at launch, more than likely you'll probably have 1 update right out of the box. 512 gigs of internal storage, 50 gigabytes of storage compression. That's going to be the standard option that we have. And as I mentioned to you guys, we have Android 15 with FunTouch OS on this, since this is the global edition. And it also means that it comes with Google Play services out of the box. Pretty sure you guys are interested in finding out what the Geekbench score is. Again, this is a 7 Gen 3 and pretty much just one straight profile as far as the experience. There's no performance mode unless you're in gaming. So if you run the Geekbench 6, it's 1137 for the single score, 3142 for the multi-score. Now, when it comes to connectivity, I was able to pick up 5G connectivity here with T-Mobile in my area. This is the Los Angeles area. As you can see here, I'm picking up 5G signal and it is connected directly with voice over LTE configurations. So if you're interested in actually using this in the LA area, you're not going to probably get the fastest connection, but it does pick up 5G, which is pretty much most of the experiences that we have here in the LA area, specifically on T-Mobile. Now, as we see here, we have the optical fingerprint scanner positioned right there. It's a little bit lower, just something to keep in mind. I did want to match the color that we have here on this unit. This is the purple color. This is called the Mist Purple. And that's because we have 3 different colors. There's the red one, a blue one, and a purple one. And the purple one is the one that they sent me over. So I went ahead and did the purple aura with Goku on there to keep it into the Dragon Ball universe. We have Call of Duty installed in here. Of course, we have different applications, Google Play Store access. Everything is pretty much the same as you'd expect. FunTouch OS did actually pick up some new functional options. You're able to log in with your account, of course, customizations, more connections, display, notifications, sound, apps, battery, RAM configuration, location. Jovi Home, you're able to customize that as well. The Ultra Gaming mode, as we've had in the past. System update, again, I am currently running on the latest available version, which is 15.0.13.7, and that's going to be the version that's available at launch. Other than that, I think it's pretty much a straightforward experience. The benchmarks are pretty decent. When it comes down to AI functionalities, if we jump into the edit here within the gallery app, we have framing, adjusting, doodle, beauty, repair, and of course we now have the ability to obviously have AI eraser. I'm going to go ahead and just turn it on. It'll go straight in there and start scanning the background for people. And of course, we identify the multiple people in there. I'm just going to go ahead and say remove. The AI system will go ahead and analyze the actual image and try to fill it in as best as possible. Now, as you can see right there, I'm going to go ahead and give you like a quick preview and background, back and forth, all the people in there, and it disappeared. Although it seemed like it added a couple of people in the back that were not there, but that's part of the fill-in. At least they're no longer basically taken into the image. And now you have a nice bokeh or portrait image of myself. And I can go ahead and save that, or I can, of course, use smart click or even manual removal. Very straightforward, easy customization options. We have filters, text, mosaic, and of course borders and light effect as well to be able to customize where the lighting effect is coming from. Of course, we're going to jump over real quick into the cameras. Now, I talked to you guys at the beginning, we have a triple 50 megapixel cameras. It means the front facing camera in here, as well as the cameras on the back, the dual cameras that we have on the back, are all going to be 50 megapixel cameras. Now, as far as video capabilities in here, the 7 Gen 3 on this device is only able to give us 4K 30 frames per second. Let's go ahead and get this orientation done correctly. So it'll be 4K 30 frames per second as a maximum on the front, as well as 4K 30 all the way on the back sensor. And that also means that we're going to mirror everything in here. Everything that we're shooting here on all three sensors is maxed out at 4K 30 frames per second, which means the ultra wide, the main sensor, and the 2x zoom, it's also going to give us that. So the camera experiences will stay pretty much stay the same. Photo mode, portrait mode, night mode, of course. And of course, in the photo mode, I have this new functional option that kind of looks like a Polaroid a little bit. And that's the ability when you're able to basically take pictures, and it just gives you a nice little seat option in here. This was an image I took yesterday. It was a nice little shop nearby. And it does that little Polaroid experience in here. If you're familiar with this, obviously this is just bringing up a lot of nice nostalgia. But again, you can take it in there, customize it, easy access pretty much by just clicking right under the camera shutter button. Of course, we talked about video mode, we have micro movie mode, and a few additional options in here, as well as Astro mode, Pro mode, live photo, slow motion, time lapse, and high resolution options for the best experiences we're able to get on here. But let's go ahead and go outside real quick and do a quick sample of the front facing and the rear facing camera video on the brand new V50. Starting off with the front facing sensor on the V50, we're looking at 4K 30 frames per second. Now this is going to be mirrored over on the main sensor as well on the back. That's going to be the best resolution we're able to get. So nice that we're able to match it with the front facing camera. We're not getting like a 1080p solution. This should be a pretty good example of the audio and video on the brand new V50 from the front facing camera. Let's go ahead and switch over to the main sensor on the back. Now we're using the main sensor on the back. Again, 4K 30 frames per second is going to be the primary resolution. We're able to use obviously some augmented light, the fill-in light directly here that we have with the new option that we have. Last year we had it that was a little bit different, but now of course we're continuing there. We're keeping Zeiss technology or Zeiss optics, so Vivo is continuing this. And of course, 4K 30 is mirrored on the front and on the back. The nice thing is also we can use this on the ultra wide, which allows us to use 4K 30 on all the sensors. The 2X is pretty much a crop on the main sensor, so that's why we only have two sensors on the back. But again, this should be a pretty good example of the audio and video on the brand new V50 from Vivo. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys are wondering about this nice little option on the back. This is the Aura ring that we've seen with Vivo from some time now, and it's customized now. It's basically a simple experience. You jump into the camera and you go directly into the flash option. You'll notice there's the Aura light. When you turn it on by default, I'm going to try to reduce this. It actually is a ring, but it's obviously overexposed in the image. You can kind of see the ever so nice shadow of it here. It is experience. It is very much a cool color. You're able to change it here. It'll go into the auto mode. And as you can see here with the color on the background, I'm actually able to go from a cool color to a very warm tone. And I can also customize how bright the color is on the actual unit itself. So you can kind of see it right now here. It's very much a ring, but it's intended for the main sensor on the back. So that's something that not only will provide you the best experience, but you also get the ability of customizing it. Obviously, since I have a lot more neutral, cool colors in here, it's defaulting to that same color profile, but it's something that you're able to customize. Of course, you could just use it as a standard flash with flash on. You could just turn it on when you're taking an image. It'll just use it, turn on, take the image. And of course, you can also turn it off or just keep it off entirely, or just flash auto mode. Very simple and very easy, and of course a very nice customization option. It kind of looks like a fingerprint sensor, but this is the new Aura light on the V50. Now, as you saw there, we have a lot of images coming in from that garden that I went ahead and tested out the cameras on this device in there. Of course, let's go ahead and jump in real quick to the audio experience. This is Alex Scrindo Jumbo by NCS Release. We're going to go ahead and play it, and we're going to put the volume up all the way at 100%. One thing to mention is that the power button is somewhat actually in the center of the body in here, and I'm used to it being a little bit higher, so I've done a few times where I've clicked it off, but I'm sure after about maybe even an hour of using this, you pretty much get used to where the basically the volume rocker and the power button are going to be. Volume level is at 100%.
Jack it up.
Hopefully you guys hear that. And so those two openings that we have at the top are the two additional speaker holes that we have as opposed to the ones we have at the bottom. Stereo speakers, of course, it does get very nice and loud. Not the loudest one on the market, but definitely very clear and not tingy at that high level of audio experience. When we jump into the gaming experience in here, I'm going to go ahead and launch Call of Duty Mobile. Now, as it's loading, you'll notice that you have that nice little side launcher in here. We have the ability of customizing the performance. I run it in Boost. Obviously, that's going to give us the best performance of the 7th Gen 3 Wi-Fi data connectivity. We can increase and customize the refresh rate as well as the touch sampling. I have it on auto mode for the refresh rate only because I feel like that's going to give us the best experience and the longest battery life. 6,000 milliampere with 90-watt charging. That means we're going to be charging this and staying fully charged for a very, very long time. You're also able to jump in here into some of the other shortcuts that we have in here that gives you the ability of customizing the mobile controls, of course, screen recording, brightness, do not disturb, image capture, video capture, microphone configuration as well. And of course, esport mode that it turns on in here to give you the best experience for gaming. And that's going to give us 90 frames per second across the board in multiplayer and the rest of the gaming modes that we have. Now, as you're noticing there, gaming on this is not going to be an issue. The 7th Gen 3 is a very powerful mid-ranger processor, but it's the top of the line. This is not an S series, so it's not the 7S Gen 3. It's the 7th Gen 3, the full potential of what the mid-ranger or the best that Qualcomm has to offer for the 7 series in this device that provides us, again, not only the ability of having great cameras, but also that gaming experience that we're looking in there. Hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to get 120 frames per second as does not only the processor, but also the device has that experience on the display. And I think it's just an optimization at launch, and that's pretty much mostly what I'm seeing there, because almost every other device on the market that's launched at this point with 120 frames per second has been able to play that in Call of Duty Mobile. And PUBG does very similarly, and I'm hoping to get the higher refresh rate option as well in that game. The gaming experience is really good. The camera, as you're seeing there, or the cameras, as you're seeing there, are providing us great images. Took it to that same park where we did the video sample from the front-facing and the rear-facing camera. The overall experience that you're getting here is very much what the X series brings into their devices, into the V series. And I think that's what Vivo's been doing, and they've done a very good job bringing in Zeiss calibration and experience into the V series. And we've had that from before. This is not new to the V50. The new thing is that we don't have a V50 Pro, which I think what they decided to do here is, as opposed to try to split the difference between a standard and a Pro model, is just go with all of the best features that they have. You notice the experience in here is not compromised. You're able to go all the way up to 12 gigs of RAM with 512 gigs of storage, a large display. We have a great processor, a very fast 6,000 charging, 90 watt, 6,000 milliampere battery on the back. So there's a lot of good things to enjoy here. And again, as I mentioned, there's 3 different color options and different configuration between storage and, of course, RAM configuration as well. But at the end of the day, I feel like the V50 is going to do a great job providing you a great experience, but not breaking the bank. This is why I kind of put it there. It's basically powerful and affordable, because that's really what the V series is supposed to be. It's a mid-ranger experience at its best with the 7th Gen 3, and I think Vivo's knocking it out of the park. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of the brand new V50? Is this something that you guys are interested in? Are you concerned that there is no Pro, or maybe will there be a Pro later on down the road? Or would you be happy to basically make this your next device to check out? I do like the Aura ring on this, and I love the customizations that they've done in there, and I think it's one of the nicest things that they could have done is the ability of not only opening it, but making it very customizable for the user. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support, and of course, I will see you in the next one.